Hello and welcome to the Film Whisperers on Ben TV, where two film nerds talk all things movies with a contemporary lens. My name is Saj.
And my name is Matt.
So, Matt, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing okay. I feel like we were only here not that long ago. So I guess we're both in Melbourne at the moment, and it feels like, a lot of this year has been kind of in and out of lockdown. And when that's the case, it feels like all there is to do is watch movies. So hopefully our audience appreciates the supercharged or the more frequent film whisperers. How are you going?
Yeah, I'm all right. I think I'm sort of in the same boat as you. The only thing I could do at this stage is probably engage in TV and film, and I've just been trying to watch as much TV and film as I possibly could, really. So in that aspect, I'm churning through quite a lot of content.
No, likewise. And so, what brings us here today, Saj? What did you want to focus on today?
We're talking through suggestions, and the suggestion that you gave, which was around actresses, I thought would be a good place to start. And when I mean actresses, Matt, maybe if you can clarify, would like to talk about the performances of the actresses who we think have done some really good films, actresses who we think are not very. I don't want to say they're not very good in acting because, at the end of the day, we're talking about a marginalized group of people here, being women in Hollywood. But maybe, they've made a few bad choices, or they don't. The male directors that direct them don't give them good direction, and they haven't produced good content. And then the actresses that surprise us, who you would sort of their range is quite eclectic, and it's a WTF. It's quite surprising. With that in mind, are you ready? Do you have someone who you'd like to talk about in terms of the best? The good, the great.
Yeah, definitely. And I should actually preface this by saying, yeah, absolutely. Like you said, when we do get onto the kind of not so great ones, it's less because that, obviously, I can never do what they do on screen. So, I'm very much in awe of everyone we speak about. But I should be stated that these are just our opinions. Like, the same actresses that we love, other people might not. The same actresses whose performances we don't really vibe with, other people may love as well. So it's very much just our opinion. But in saying that, when I was trying to think of, I guess, who my favorite actresses are of all time, there are a handful. But I can't go past Angela Bassett for me. When I was growing up, a lot of those kind of 90s films like Waiting to Exhale or How Stella Got Her Groove Back, or even the Tina Turner biopic, What's Love Got to Do With It? I just loved them. I thought, and to me, what made all of those films were Angela Bassett. Like, I just felt like her performances were just so amazing. She just has such a magnetic screen presence. She's stunning and she's so talented, but there's just something about her occupying your attention in whatever scene that she's in, even if she was playing a more minor role. So when I think about growing up, I just picture watching those movies and just being so captivated by, Angela Bassett. So yeah, I think she'd be right up there for me. Have you seen many films with Angela Bassett in there?
Yeah, definitely. So I think what you just said with What's Love Got to Do With It. Probably one of the best performances I've seen. When it comes to biopics, really, really good. Yes, Waiting to Exhale. How Stella Got Her Groove Back was also really good. And I feel as if there was a pause that she had in her career, and then she definitely came back, and she's done a bit of TV as well. She's done American Horror Story, and I thought she was really great in that. I'm going to have to agree with you. Angela Bassett is definitely an actress that has impressed audiences for decades.
It's interesting because I think we've spoken about this in previous episodes about how growing up, we found that, or maybe it was, I may have been speaking on behalf of myself, but I found that I tended to kind of resonate with movies that had really strong women in them, female focused films where, they were quite strong and, it wasn't about this main man being the character. And I still remember in Waiting to Exhale, which if our audiences haven't seen, is a 1995 movie with Angela Bassett, Whitney Houston, and it's just about relationships and friendships and all these different things. But there's this absolutely iconic scene with Angela Bassett where she finds out that her partner's kind of done her wrong, and so she basically just sets fire to his stuff. And I just remember, I mean, I've watched it like 20 times, but like the film, but that scene to me when I was little was just so like, oh, like I just loved it. I was like, I want to be like her. She's just so like, that character was just written in such a powerful way, and like her performance was so amazing that like, yeah, it still sticks with me today. So yeah, Angela Bassett absolutely would be right up there for me.
With Waiting to Excel, I remember the opening scene well, and again, it's with the Angela Bassett character, and her husband tells her that he's leaving her for this other girl, and the emotions that she goes through when she finds out. I just remember that scene is just, I don't know, it was so impactful and powerful, and you could tell she brought her A game for that movie.
Absolutely. And actually, honestly, I mean, there might be one down in the depths somewhere, but I can't think of something I've seen her in where I'm like, oh, that actually was just okay, or she wasn't that great in that. So I think that's a testament to how amazing she is. Even if the film maybe isn't written as great, like it still feels like a really great movie because she was in it. So yeah, that would be my one. How about you, Saj? Who's your all-time favorite, or one of your all-time favorites?
So I really had to think about this from a diversity angle, because a lot of the actresses who I idolized growing up, they're white, and I thought, that was because that was the content that I consumed as a child, as a teenager, and even as an adult. Reese Witherspoon is my favorite actress of all time. And then when I think of other actresses whose films I used to watch growing up, Julia Roberts comes to mind. However, I'm going to look at this not from the 90s or the 2000s, but I'm just going to look at it from where we're at the moment in 2021. And at the moment, who I absolutely love, and I would watch anything that she does, it would have to be Viola Davis. Yeah, no, she's definitely newer than some of the other actresses that I just mentioned. And I definitely did not know Viola, in the 90s or in the 2000s. And I think it was the help that definitely catapulted her to stardom. Or no, sorry, it was her 7-minute groundbreaking scene in Doubt that did. And I feel as if since then she has just been on this massive, spurt of success. I can't fault her for any of the performances that she's been in. She always, as you said, like Angela Bassett and her magnetic presence, I think the same way of Viola as well. If I was to think of some of my favorite moments of Viola Davis, I keep mentioning that scene in Doubt. That, if someone's able to come in for just 7 minutes and completely blow you away, I mean, that's acting, and that's a performance that's unforgettable.
It's actually so true. Like there are actors, regardless of gender, who spend 2 hours in a movie that just you don't remember them the next day, but in 7 minutes you remember Viola like years later because it's just such an amazing performance. So yeah, no, totally understand that.
She was in a couple of films recently that definitely got a bit of acclaim. Fences was one of them, with Denzel Washington. She was in another film called Widows. Last year she was in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and apparently very soon she's going to be playing Michelle Obama in an upcoming TV show called The First Lady. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I think her resume so far is incredibly impressive, and I know for a fact that we're going to see some great things from her. So that's going to be my pick.
Yeah, no, I actually didn't know about the Michelle Obama films. That's really, really exciting. I actually remember looking up a BuzzFeed article ages ago, which is like, how many of these Viola Davis movies have you seen? And she's actually been in quite a lot. Like, I know I've seen her in quite a number of movies, but she's got an extensive resume, and she's like done, yeah, her career is amazing. So, yeah, I feel like I need to brush up on some of the gaps in my knowledge, but yeah, I'm totally with you. I think she is an incredibly talented actress.
If you do get the chance, check out Widows.
I did see Widows. I have seen that one. I remember that was from like a few years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that one. That was very good. But that's all the time we have for now. Thanks, Saj, for joining me to chat about our favourite actresses. And thanks for joining us at home. You're watching The Film Whisperers on Bent TV.